Hello everybody, Shane here from JunQtique in Clovis, New Mexico and Amarillo, Texas. We've got JD on the other end.
Hello.
And today we're going to be talking about what I call the waxing exception. So a little bit of background info on this. When you seal chalk paint with wax, it is almost always best to use clear wax first. That seals the paint, fills up the pores. It's very, very porous paint, and it allows for whenever you go over it with the colored waxes, the black or the brown, or a colored wax you make using clear wax and a few drops of your choice of chalk paint, it allows that to be workable because you have that wax barrier underneath it. But there's exceptions to every rule. And chalk paint, you know, there's millions and millions of uses. So today I'm going to focus on just the exception to that waxing rule. So with me I've got dark wax. Now I'm going to be very honest here. I was cleaning out my cabinets the other day and I found this tin. I don't know if you've been in the Annie Sloan world long, but this is one of the OG tins. I mean, it's not one of the original tins, but it's pretty old. So this is what I'm going to be using, but just so you don't get confused, if you have some, or if you go and look for some at your stockist, this is what you'll actually find. This is the new version of it, but I want to use up my old before I use the new. So I've got my dark wax. I've got an Annie Sloan wax brush. This is the small one. This is the one that I prefer. I just like the way it sits in my hand. I have a tin opener for the wax tin, obviously, and then I have dark cloths. So when it comes to waxing, I almost always say to all of my customers, use blue shop towels for your wax because they are easy. You can throw them away. They're affordable, and a roll will take you quite some distance unless you're going over a dark color. You don't want the little linties in there, and getting rid of the lint it's annoying. It's doable, but it's annoying. So when you go over dark colors, so Athenian black, graphite, Oxford navy, I always suggest you use a dark cloth. So I've got some black cloths with me. So my exception rule here is I'm not going to be using a layer of clear wax on this. I'm going to go over it with straight dark wax, and it's going to stain this Athenian black paint darker, which is fine. It's black. It's also going to give it this warm brownish hue, giving more of an earthy, slightly more rustic look. I don't know if you can see, JD, can you kind of go in a little bit here? So this old buffet, I picked up in Amarillo, I don't know, about a year ago. It's very rustic, is the word I'm going to use. So I pretty much did a really quick slapdash, no fuss paint job on it. It's one coat of Athenian. Now I did that for a reason. If you look close, you'll see areas where you see the original color coming through. The one coat covered phenomenally, but there are areas where it's a little thinner. And when I dark wax this, those areas are going to become a bit more pronounced because this color is going to become darker. And it's just going to lend to its rusticness. So instead of painting it and distressing it and doing all of that fun stuff, I'm just essentially painting it distressed from the get-go. So let's get started with this. And I'm a hot mess today. Alright, so I popped open my tin. Again, dark wax. Ooh, here's something else you can see. Do you see like these random little scuffed bits? That's just because like the wax isn't sealed. You see, or the wax isn't sealed. The paint isn't sealed. So whenever I wax, all of these marks are going to go away. It's magical. So got my wax brush here. Let's get some wax on there. Look at that. Yeah. Okay.
Juicy.
JD. Oh, If you have any questions in any of this fun stuff, just let us know. JD's on the other end of this camera, and he will relay them or answer them himself, one of the two. So I'm folding my cloth because I want a flat surface to wipe back on. I don't want to wipe back on a crinkled surface, so I always fold them. And this way I can also flip it. So when this is full of wax, I can flip it, and I've got this section and this section, and then I can turn the cloth inside out and just keep going and going. The same as you would do with a blue shop towel, but with a black rag. So, wow, look at how that applies. So back in the day, before Annie Sloan had Athenian black or black wax, the darkest you could get was by using graphite and straight dark wax, which is what I'm doing right now. Just a little, you know, what do I call that, history on it. So, taking the wax, wiping it back. I got a few loose bristles from this brush on there.
Dolly says hello from Ireland.
Ireland, wow. Hi, Dolly. That's something else. Please let us know where you're watching from. That's super fun, especially because we're on the Annie Sloan US page. Like, I'm super curious. Where are you watching from? Maine, New York, Florida? Who knows? We're in little old New Mexico. And that's always fun, isn't it, Jamie?
It is fun.
All right, so I can't get over how this is applying. It's applying like butter. It's kind of warm in the workroom today. I think that may have a place on it.
That's what I was going to say. We've had the heater on today.
So I don't know. I hope it is translating on camera. But so this definitely looks black, right? But in person, it... Whoa, what was that? In person, it definitely has this very, very, very slight brown hue.
Customize your space at Chicago here. Hi.
From Chicago, hi.
You have Jackie from New Mexico. We know Jackie.
Is it Jackie? Jackie?
Jackie. And then you have an Anita from Croatia.
Oh, wow. This is far reaching.
Yeah.
This is fun.
Neat.
Everybody watching us apply dark wax. But I mean, in general, I really hope that the... Well, I cannot talk today. I don't even know what's going on with me. I hope what I'm doing seems simple, because it absolutely is. All of these products are made to be very, very easy to use. Anybody can use them. A breakdown. This entire piece was just painted in one coat of Annie's Athenian black. And now I'm applying straight dark wax to it. Again, the whole kind of point to this video was just to show that there are exceptions to every rule. Rule being always apply clear wax first, which most of the time you should do. Unless you're wanting to use the pigment in that wax to stain the paint darker. And this is just kind of how I do things. I start here, I move there, I go over there. And then when it's all done, it's like putting together the pieces of a puzzle. Now this brush, I don't know if you can tell, but it's pointed. So it really makes it easy, you know, stabbing up behind the edges of this escutcheon and getting into the corners. Fun thingies on that. I can't wait to wipe this back. I hope you're going to see the peekaboos that I was talking about a bit ago.
Regina says hi, y'all, from Amarillo.
Regina, how are you, lady? Regina's talking to us from Amarillo. We have another location in Amarillo, which at the moment is a bit neglected, but we'll see y'all soon. That was honestly kind of overkill, but Very nice. Okay, now, do you see the difference?
Yes, rich is what comes to my mind. It's very rich looking.
And you see all this peekaboo stuff?
Yep, you can see it.
So like I said, this piece, I can't think of the most eloquent way to explain this. It's rustic. So I'm going for a very, very rustic, imperfect finish. It'll be super cute, super nice when it's done. But definitely, definitely rustic.
Annie Sloan US says that is gorgeous.
Well, thank you. Fingers, you know, gotta wait till we see the rest of it. It's got this really pretty mirror that comes up on the top of it with like these Empire style arms. It's pretty neat. And again, pointed brush is making it really easy. JD, can you see up in that?
A little closer.
Trying to do this so that you guys can all see just how I can literally just kind of stab that in there. So I don't have any light spaces. Everywhere gets covered evenly.
Goodness.
One thing I'm going to add is that when you wax, you should wax the same way you paint. I'm going to say I add. Please know that everything I, or generally anybody says, it's always subjective. Again, the point to this video is to show that there's exceptions to every rule. Now, what I always tell my customers in regards to waxing is to wax the same way you paint. So if you paint left to right or up and down, wax that way. If you paint like I do and you kind of just go every which way, then wax the same. And I'm honestly doing overkill because I just want this to be one and done. And I'm wanting to make sure that everywhere, every piece of this paint is absorbed in wax. It absorbs all the wax that it can.
Regina said she likes the black wax technique.
Well, thank you, Regina. This, I'm going to tell you, it's brown. And the whole point of using the brown is so it gives it this very, very light brown hue. I don't know if that's going to really translate through this phone camera, but it definitely has a brown hue. Again, I was wanting it to be very, very rustic. So rustic, brown, country. I've been doing it a lot lately, this whole country aesthetic. It's kind of a thing I haven't done in a long time, but that last piece is the craziest thing ever. And now this rustic piece.
Karen White said, "Hello, sweetie, love it."
Oh, thank you. I can't wait until it's done. I'm just wiping that to smooth it out. Yeah, and there we go. And there's no smell, is there, JD?
No,
There's
not at
no
all.
smell. I'm not making a mess. I'm not dripping or any of that stuff. It's just, it's done and it's easy. Another thing I've been pushing a lot lately is, you know, it's getting colder. And, you know, I've had some people tell me, well, I can't really take my things outside to paint them, or, you know, it's taking them to your garages and all that fun stuff, but you don't need to. Like, painting this didn't make any kind of... Whoa. There we go.
Little trick.
Little trick there, yeah. Painting this, you don't need to. Everything is easy to clean up if anything was to happen, like me just dropping the wax brush. But for the most part, there's no smell, there's no mess, and you can use it right away. Like, as soon as this piece gets done, I'm going to let it sit for, I don't know, 20, 30 minutes while we find some place in the store for it to go. And then it's going to be out. I'm going to, you know, stage it up and it's ready to go. Now, you do need to be careful for, what, 5 to 21 days, I think is the technical time I'm supposed to tell you. But in our little neck of the woods, it's pretty quick, isn't it, JD?
It's very fast. Dry and hot.
Dry and hot, yeah. Not so much hot right now, but still very, very dry. Oh, yeah.
And I notice you're waxing with all the drawers in. Is that how you recommend it, or?
I mean, it really kind of depends on what it is I'm doing. This piece, again, I'm going for something very, very rustic. So, I mean, it doesn't really matter. It's not exactly a super prissy finish. If I was going for something, you know, super smooth and modern, and I was needing to be a bit more delicate with it, then I would probably take the drawers out and do them individually. But because of the finish that I'm doing, I'm not super worried about it. Just gonna keep on going. Let that sit for a second. Now, I'm gonna go against what I'm about to say, but normally I always say and suggest that you wax in sections. You don't ever wax the whole piece of furniture at a time and then go back and wipe off your excess wax. You work in sections. But because these are so thin, I'm just extending my sections in essence. But now I'm talking about it, it's got me thinking I'll go ahead and wipe it off. Can you see the difference from the wet to the already starting to set and cure?
Yes. Really the shine.
Like I was saying, things set and cure and dry here pretty quick.
For those people who are just joining, do you want to explain again why you're using the black rags, not your normal blue shop towels?
Yes, because I learned once upon a time, after painting this huge, big, beautiful, what was it? It was like a Sheridan style buffet. I painted it in what was then a mix of Napoleonic blue and I think Barcelona orange to make this really pretty navy color. And I was so happy with it. I was so nitpicky with it while painting. And then I went to go wax it. And the wax applied fine. It was beautiful. And then I went to go wipe off the wax. And I was using light blue shop towels like I normally do use. And it left lint everywhere. All over it. It was awful. Very disheartening. And the more I tried to wipe them off, the worse they got, and it just caused a mess. That was really, to be honest, that was before I really knew a whole lot about any of this, and I didn't really know then that you could just take some mineral spirits on a cloth and wipe wipe them off, it would take that wax off, and so I just repainted it. It's what happened. I ended up having to repaint the whole thing, and then I used dark cloths.
So yeah, maybe you'll save somebody a headache. I remember that. It was scary for a split second.
Yeah, it was a big deal. That was a really, really, really
Yeah.
pretty piece. Man, and so this is, I opened up a new brush for this because my other ones are really, really dirty. And when I open a brush, I always, because these are boar hair, I always suggest you kind of like brush out the loose bristles, you know, because there's going to be loose bristles. I always suggest you brush out the loose bristles before you use it. But I mean, it was like, pull the plastic off. We're live! So I didn't really have a second to do that. You know, something else I'm going to give hints to, when you're doing the darker colors like Athenian black or Oxford navy or graphite, and you see areas like I don't, you can see this now, areas that are lighter, areas that are darker, leave it alone. Step back for a while, then come back and assess. Maybe even come back and assess the next day. Give that wax time to calm down. And for the most part, I will say you'll be much happier with it then. That used to really, really bug me out. But I mean, as you can see, like, where has already started to set is this color. Where I just put this other line is this color. That'll all be fine. It'll all level out.
You can really see it on that door you did.
What? On this one?
On the frame to the left where the handle is, you can really see the two colors where it hasn't quite leveled out yet.
Let's move to the top, JD.
Okay.
Okay, so wax on the brush here.
Oh, those scuffs are showing up good.
And again, I'm not, so this is another thing, you know, a lot of people, I get asked a lot of questions. It's the best way to say that about waxing. And, oh, well, you know, I don't want to have to do the work of waxing it. Waxing it isn't work. It shouldn't be. And if it is, then you're not doing it right. It doesn't really take arm power. It doesn't take effort. We're not Mr. Miyagi. Like, I'm not wax on, wax off, you know? Like, if you can see, I'm just lightly brushing this around. And again, I'm kind of trying to go every which way because that's how I painted, but I'm just going every which way. Lightly brushing it. I'm not, do you know what I mean? I'm just lightly brushing it. Getting a bit more. And then lightly brushing it. It's kind of fun. Waxing to me is where the magic really comes into the piece. I say that, but you know, you can do some magical stuff with chalk paint. Don't get me wrong. But the finishing on top is the wax. And in the end, when it's all said and done, a properly waxed finish that's allowed to cure is really, really quite durable. And it just feels more rich. It feels soft. It doesn't feel hard and cold like plastic. Plastic, when I say plastic, I mean poly finishes. Poly for polymer. It's plastic. It's soft. It's nice. It's more luxurious. Ooh, I lost it there. And again, I'm not pushing. Like, I'm not pushing. I'm not. Let me wipe this wax off. Like it's just kind of like I'm wiping a table. I'm just wiping it off. Now I'm not going to really buff this up to get any kind of sheen. I'd like it to stay really quite matte. Again, I'm going for this pretty rustic finish. So do know though that you can make, like, wax isn't a one size kind of finish. It's a one size fits all kind of finish. You can do gloss, you can do ultra matte, all with wax. It all just depends on how much you buff it.
Scuffs to be gone. I know that's another thing that was always scary when you first start painting, then you touch it and it has these white spots on it.
Yeah, and you're like, oh no.
What am I going to do?
And then you wipe off whether you hit it with some wax, and can you see?
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope y'all weren't here for this, like, professionally recorded video, because JD and I are kind of a hot mess sometimes.
Well, sometimes.
Sometimes. So, we've applied the wax. Again, I'm turning this cloth. I'm getting to a clean section. Again, a dark cloth, so you don't have lint that shows. I'm making it flat. I don't want this scrunched up cloth. And now I'm just gently going to wipe back. So that's something else. I guess I'll explain the basics of the wax. So that's a wonderful explanation I give to all of my customers, right? So when you... wax is not the same concept really as a top coat. It's you know, a top coat, some kind of poly, you like brush it on, you roll it on, you spray it on, whatever, and it sits there on the top like a piece of cheese. And it just sits on the top like a piece of cheese that encases your piece in poly. Wax doesn't quite work the same. So the paint itself is very, very absorbent, and it absorbs the wax, which is why you're seeing this color change, because it's absorbing the pigments in this dark wax. So it absorbs the wax, and then you wipe off the excess. So you're not covering it in wax. It's not, you know, like a piece of cheese. You're giving it all that it needs, and then you're wiping back the excess. And ta-da. Oh yeah, very, very nice. Let's go back to the front now, I guess.
Trying to go a little different angle, trying to show more color.
So why don't you give us a quick little recap, JD?
So we are working on this neat buffet. It was painted just with one single coat of the Annie Sloan Athenian Black, which is why you can kind of see some of the natural wood grains poking through. It's what we were wanting to do. So the point of this video is to kind of show you the exception to the rule. We always tell our customers, you know, you always clear wax first. Well, we're not clear waxing first. We're actually using the dark wax to kind of go in and almost stain the Athenian Black, and it kind of gives it this rich, like, brown hue to it.
Applause. Perfect explanation. Yeah, exactly what we're doing. These doors are driving me crazy, man.
Yeah, as you like really get into this piece, you can really see the
rustic charm,
rusticness.
yeah.
Parentheses.
Charm. It is cute. It is nice. You know, I can imagine it. Like, imagine it with some like gold balls on it, like a bowl of golden Christmas ornament balls on
Right.
it. Like, it'd be, it'd be cute. It'd be nice. Maybe even like some kind of rustic picture of a Santa Claus or something.
Yeah.
Just because that's the mood that we're all in right now, fa la 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 la.
'Tis the season.
But I wish I could get that on this camera. Like, because this is pointed, how easy it is to literally stab it into all of these grooves and recesses. And if you look close, these are cracks. And I don't want them to like stand out as this glaringly obvious different color. So because this is pointed, I can like work it and stab it into all of that crack, making it all one color. Again, I'm not trying to hide this crack. It's part of its charm. But I want it to be the same color at least, I am curious. So, side note. Normally, when I'm working on furniture like this, painting being in my happy place, I always have things going on in the background. So, podcasts or books on audiobooks or things like that. But I'm also going to tell you a secret. I also like to watch, or I say watch, I like to listen to trash TV when I'm doing this, just because when you just listen to it, it's so interesting. Like, when I say trash TV or whatnot, not that it's trash, but I like to listen to People's Court or Judge Judy while I'm listening to this, because then I can hear the judges, yell at people for being ridiculous. It's kind of my secret happy place. I am curious as to how a lot of y'all paint, what kind of situations and what you're setting in your atmosphere for while you're painting. It's kind of odd for me to be sitting here in silence doing this with JB. Not the norms for me.
Here's some clean black rags. Mary Davis said, "Wow, that piece is stunning."
Hey Mary, how are you? I haven't heard from you in a while. How's Albuquerque treating you? If it's the Mary Davis I'm thinking of. If you're not, still hi. Okay, as you can see, I didn't get this little top lip. If you look closely, this is also exposing some of its rustic charm. And again, I'm doing this because you can see all the scoring of this wood. And I'm wanting to make sure I get it into as much as possible. Alright. Time for the bottom drawer.
Mary said she's actually in Moriarty.
Maury? Yeah, okay.
Doing okay. Hope you all are as well. Jeez.
Moriarty. So, to Clovis, people. That's Albuquerque.
Same difference.
No, it's not. I'm just being silly. But have you been painting all of the things? Man, this glides on like butter. There's so many things, like, oh, I could go over this with the gilding wax. Like, I could lightly brush the knobs. I don't know if I want to go that blingy with this, though. You know, I'm going for it to be rustic. Old, like it was painted, I don't know, however many years ago. Left in an old barn house.
And then discovered. And Betty Hip says, looking good. XOXOXOXO.
XOXO to you, Betty, Miss Granny. Whew. I'm just trying to get it done quick. I don't want to keep y'all on video watching stuff dry. Okay, can you see this?
Yes.
So, you see how that's full of wax? So when I wipe this back, I'm not going to take any of this excess wax off with this. I'm actually just going to push it around, and I don't want to do that. So I'm going to flip it to a cleaner section. Ooh, sneakers are squeaking today.
Mary says no bling. It's perfect just the way it is.
I absolutely agree. It's just, I love playing with the gilding wax.
It's fun.
Ooh, seeing as this is, I guess, like a whole little thing on dark wax. So you know what else is fun to do with dark wax? I'll show you. Are you excited?
So excited.
You just can't hide it.
And the anticipation is killing me. Even though I have a feeling I know what it is.
You don't know. Okay. Let's take out Mr. Drawer here, who's been rebuilt at some time. As you can see.
Yeah.
So, dark wax. Now, I work on a lot of antique pieces. I like a lot of like legit antique furniture. In fact, that's kind of what I started doing with furniture, pre-painting. You know, restoring all kinds of stuff, using period appropriate things and all of that fun stuff. Anyways, blah 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 blah. Do you want to know what's really good for wood? Because it like gives it some zhuzh and it seals it up really nice. Wax. Dark wax is great on raw wood, and you can use it. So if it's on raw wood, you can use it as a stain and a sealer in one. Boom, we're done. What do you think
Whoa,
of that?
mind blown.
I was about to say, you know what? Do you want to know what it really should be? Because it's a game changer.
And then you don't have to wax it and wait for 24 hours to wax it, stain it, then wait for 24 hours without anybody going into the room. Nobody talk too loud or it'll get something stuck in it. It's just done. All shabbed out says hi.
All shabbed out. All shabbed out. All shabbed out. Quita! Hey, lady! Oh my gosh, I sure hope I got that right. It is. I got that right. It's Quita. Look at that, though. Look.
Yeah.
Stained and sealed. Done.
And rich
and yummy. But you see all those pigments, like they sunk into the wood, but the biggest piece is then it, on top of sinking pigments into the wood, it sealed it. Like magic.
She says hello, loves. You got it right.
I knew I did. Oh, speaking of Quita, so I recently got this big, what'd you call it? This random armoire thing. I was at an auction and it was like $10. Nobody wanted it, and it was wood. So I was like, I'll do this. And you want to know what's in my brain? My inspiration for that is your piece you did at Annie Sloan's Big Paint Weekend in New Orleans. Nolans is how I've been told I'm supposed to say that. And you did all of that really yummy texture with all of these fun new Annie Sloan thingies coming out, like the the embossing medium and the Venetian plaster stuff, and you made all that yummy texture, and then you did blended all the whites and the pinks, and that's my inspiration for it, so keep an eye out.
She said, loved meeting y'all. We have Vanessa who says, great tip. Vintage begonia in Temecula, California.
Temecula. Am I saying that right?
I think so. Sounds right.
Temecula.
Sounds like a place. Quita said, "Oh, sweetie, I'm flattered. I'm a wild card, huh? I hope you had fun."
I did. I had so much fun. You are a wild card, but wild cards are the best cards. Okay, let me get this inside of this leg, and then we can step on back. And then JD can give me an update and let me know like how long I've been on this for. And we'll decide on whether or not to finish the piece and go ahead and hit the sides. And I really feel bad for that drawer because I only did one side of it, so I'm going to have to pull it out and do the other side.
Yeah.
It's going to bug me.
Vanessa says, meet you in NOLA. Best time.
Hey, it was the best time.
It was fun. Amanda says, I just love you guys. Everyone watching should be following you.
Oh, is this Amanda?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you, Amanda. Okay. Let's step back. Oh, we're going to see what JD's seeing.
Pretty magical. And if you look at the TV, it actually shows up way better on there.
Oh, wow.
Big difference, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, that's craziness. So we have this casted. Let me go ahead and do this. I'm going to pull out the other side and do this other side of this drawer. So we have this casted to our TV. You know, the magic of Google. Sorry, Apple people, I'm not about that. Oh yeah, we're going to cause some fights with this video.
Yeah.
Anyways, we have it casted to our TV so I can kind of see. Normally when I do lives, I use it so I can see questions and all that fun stuff and get them answered while I'm live. But it also like helps me see what it is you guys can see. And yeah, the color difference is crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Crazy.
Like this, apparently this phone has a really good camera, but not so much a good screen. Because the TV's way better quality than what I see.
Okay.
Okay, for everybody who missed it.
Everybody who missed it, for the seats in the back. So, Annie Sloan wax brush, Annie Sloan wax cloth. Maybe that'd be a good idea.
Hint, hint.
Hint, hint. And dark wax. So, plain old wood.
All stepped out says I can't wait for the next one. With the Annie Sloan tag.
Oh, I can't either. It's going to be so much fun.
Regina says she loves it.
Oh, thanks, Regina. Maybe we'll bring it to Amarillo. Who knows? Like I said, that store has been a bit neglected as of late, and we kind of need to jump on it. I've got a whole bunch of stuff to bring so far, so. But, Regina, side note, I'm thinking of using, so you know the back room at that store? I'm thinking of emptying it out and just turning that back room into, the entire back room into a workshop. So we can do a lot more workshops. And I can work on a lot more furniture in Amarillo.
Whoa. Guido was born in Amarillo.
Really?
That's just random. She said her battery's low, sitting at the tag office. I never get to watch anyone live. I'm going to be live tonight. Y'all come say hi.
Oh, I will. Well, for sure. Do you see that? Like, do you see that? Like, I don't... Do you see that? Like, I can't do... Are they words to explain? Just beautiful.
Regina said, great idea. I think she's took all the classes we've had there, hasn't she?
She has. Okay. Do you see that?
Yeah, very nice.
So let's kind of turn and learn here.
Turn and learn?
Turn and learn. So like the color it was before, the color it is now.
Aha.
How was that? Yeah, and all that took me, what, 15 seconds? Brush the wax on, wipe it off. You're done. Okay, but on that, guys, I think we're about done. JD, how long have we been on here for?
It's been almost an hour.
Oh my gosh, has it really?
Yeah.
No way!
Yeah, it's 1:55.
Oh my gosh, okay, well, we have been on here way too long. I didn't realize time flies when you're having fun and
Right.
you're just waffling on and talking away, huh? We had lots of fun. Just know, there isn't a set right way and a wrong way to do it. There's exceptions to every rule for everything. For the most part, you always do want to clear wax first because it allows you to make the colored wax workable, and it also allows you to take it off if you don't like it. But exceptions, I've shown you two. One of them I didn't even think about showing you until we were in the process of doing it. But staining the paint. If your goal is to stain the paint darker, then you don't clear wax. Thing two, if you're going over raw wood and you're using the wax as a paint and a stain, then that's you wouldn't clear wax on that first either. So exceptions to the rule. I guess that's everything, huh, JD?
I think that's it.
Okay.
We'll keep looking, guys. If you have any questions, don't be shy to ask.
Yes. Bye.
Bye.